Hey friends, Ari Koinuma here, and today I want to share with you my lessons learned from a recent episode of Cubital tunnel syndrome that I went through. From November 2017 to February 2018, for about 3 months, I suffered from this guitar playing injury, which, if you don't know, is a elbow issue. There's a nerve that's running starting with your neck and then running through your arm and then through the funny bone area of your elbow down to the pinky and to this side of the ring finger, and it gets rubbed against the joint here and it causes inflammation and pain. Anyway, I've had this before a few times, but this time it really made it clear to me that this is a guitar playing injury, and that I've made 2 videos on this topic before, and what I'm about to share is not anything too new or different from what I've said before, but still I felt compelled to make this video because it really deepened understanding of what's going on and what might be helpful in terms of if you are suffering from this condition. So the biggest and most important insight I would share with you is that these conditions occur because you're asking your body to do something that your body fundamentally lacks the strength to do. It's kind of the same thing. I also have like lower back issues, and every once in a while I hurt my back from doing things in poor postures and stuff like that. And it's the same thing where you're asking your body to do things that it doesn't have the strength to do, and it starts compensating for it by stressing the nerve and joints. And the way to mitigate it, of course, if you're not suffering from the condition anymore, to prevent it is to strengthen your body so that it has particular enough muscle strength to do what you're asking for it to do. And it should be in the form of doing repetitive exercise that's light, but you do it often instead of taxing it with really heavy stuff. And I've shared the hand exerciser thing before. I won't get into that. I won't repeat that today, but that's really the fundamental issue, and that if you encounter these conditions, it's nice to know what the root cause is, so that hopefully you get better, and then when you try to prevent it again, you know what it is that you need to do to prevent it. So what happened was that I was working on the guitar solo for the recent cover I made of Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles with my band Minnasia. And I recently got a guitar processing unit, Fractal Audio X8, which is fantastic, and it just makes me really excited to play, and it sounds great, and I got really excited. And then one of my personal fetishes that I started, one of my early guitar heroes were from the late 80s hair metal era, and then everybody was playing gazillion notes minute, and to me, it's still in my head, although, of course, I'm much older now. I know otherwise, but still one of my, fetish is really fast guitar playing. I can't really do it, but I like to try. And on that day, I was feeling good, and I'm like, oh man, wouldn't it be awesome to have this burning, just furious guitar solo that's just has many notes and just play really fast, and look, I have this new unit and it sounds awesome and I sound great, and I spent probably like a couple hours just doing takes after takes of really fast guitar solos. And of course, along the line, my elbow started feeling bad, but I was just really excited about doing that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just get this great take of me playing this fast guitar solo of my dreams. And finally, after a couple hours, when I realized what I had done, my elbow was just on fire. It was just has this sort of stinging pain in this funny bone area, and that's something that hasn't happened to me in a few years. And I thought that it might go away after a night or two, but it didn't. Anyway, so I stopped playing for a while, and then I I have to be honest with you. I haven't had this condition for a few years, so I thought that I was better. So I had been lax in terms of preventative maintenance or measures that I would do. Anyway, and so I just, did things like, wear my elbow glove that I still wear when it's cold, and keep my body warm, get hydrated, all that. I have turmeric supplement that I take, which is supposed to be good for inflammation. Something that I was missing in my supplement front is this vitamin B. I get this from Amazon. I'll post a link in my description here, but vitamin called raw B complex. And when I started taking this, I really felt that it made a difference. That I recently had an episode also with my back injury. I was on vacation and I had like 2 weeks of not taking my vitamin B supplements, and then at the end of it, I was trying to lift a heavy cooler and I injured my back, not very severely, but it just really occurred to me that vitamin B deficiency might be contributing to us having these nerve/joint issues. Along with those lines, though, I also wondered, because I wasn't really getting a whole lot better. There were good days and bad days with the condition, and I'm taking these supplements. I'm like, gosh, our body has a natural healing ability. Why is it not getting better? So the thought did occur to me that maybe I'm taking this, but my body is not absorbing it. So I've gotten in the habit of regularly taking these digestive enzymes, and I know this one really works for me because when I take it, I get hungry sooner. So I've had years of sort of doing enzyme and other sort of a holistic natural things with my digestive systems. I confess to you that for example, Voua movement has never been very regular, and I could easily get into constipation if I'm not properly hydrated, that sort of thing, if I'm not eating enough fiber. And I know it's not exactly a pleasant topic to talk about, but when you have proper nutrients and fiber and digestive capabilities get compromised because there are things that get caked into inside your intestines, and you're not absorbing as much as you could be. That's whole other can of wax, but those are things that I became a little bit more aware of while I was struggling with my cubital tunnel syndrome. So while I was struggling with my syndrome and being frustrated I wasn't getting better, a Twitter friend suggested this book to me. I don't have it with me, but it's called The Divided Mind by Dr. Sarno. And it is a book about how Dr. Sarno started out specializing in back pain, but he was talking about how back pain is related to an emotional cause. And the biggest takeaway I had was that people develop these symptoms because there are some feelings or emotional issues that you are afraid to face. Now, I have previously learned that stuck emotions and feelings that are not processed that you're carrying can create diseases. A lot of things like cancer and stuff all stem from anger, pain, shame, that sort of feelings that you're carrying around. But there was a new twist that I learned from this book, that it might not be the direct cause of your injury, but you may develop these symptoms. Or the way I might think of it is like your body might have like a weak link, and then when you have these baggages that you're afraid to really face, then your body gets stressed, and then wherever your weak link is in your body kind of breaks when there's a certain stressful condition that happens. And when I sort of explored this idea, one night there was this dramatic moment in which it made a difference. Now, prior to Dr. Sarno's book, I had also read from, this is something I learned from my business coach, Tom Volkar, but this is a book called The Presence Process by Michael Brown. And it's a book that talks about the idea, again, that we are carrying sort of emotions stuck inside, and he calls it integrating. I call it processing. But by basically you carry these baggages of emotions in your body, and by digging it out and then actually experiencing it, you integrate that feeling, and you let go of the baggage, and you become unafraid of those feelings. Now, I know I'm talking about something fairly abstract and big, but what I want to say is that I've learned the lesson that, again, we have these childhood traumas, or, just baggages from the past that we're carrying inside, and in life we go through and we find these opportunities that remind you of your earlier incidents or whatever that you haven't properly processed yet. And it gives you opportunities to feel those feelings, which often are very uncomfortable feelings, and that's the reason why you haven't processed it and you're carrying it around inside, stuck inside. But it doesn't matter how old or how long you've been carrying it. It just that never goes away. It's just like this. Think of it as like bag of food that's rotting inside your body. I know it's not really pleasant thought, but that just never goes away. And the longer it stays there, it just festers and it becomes toxic, and it starts messing with your system. Anyway, this is a book in which he talks about this 10-week program he called the Presence Process, and it's through meditation and other things that you can sort of start to dig up those issues and to start to process them. And I went through it once, and it's been a really life-changing experience. So, after reading Dr. Sarno's book and having a takeaway away that, whoa, boy, maybe I caused this injury, or, it happened to me because there was something about playing the guitar that I'm still not really facing. You see, these playing injuries, right? It happens because somewhere in your mind, there's probably a still belief, at least it is for me, that maybe I shouldn't be doing this, right? That I am not allowed to do this. That sort of limiting thoughts or beliefs. And I know what I'm gonna say that sounds really dramatic, I'm aware. And I will not be telling you this if this really didn't happen to me. But as I reflected upon what sort of limiting thoughts or beliefs I might have about guitar playing, a particular thought came to me, and when I focused on how that feels, and I had a moment of tears just thinking about how that thought or feeling was holding me back from really playing the guitar. And then I felt actually an immediate relief in my elbow. Like, I got up and I was like, I really felt that that something got lighter, or just something went away from my elbow. And it was early in the morning, and yeah, it just this session reflecting upon my inner beliefs, shedding some tears, and my elbow condition got better. And I'll be the first one to tell you that sounds incredible. That sounds too new agey, too woo-woo. That's what happened to me. And of course, I'm not gonna tell you that's what's happened to you, but it's just made a dramatic impact. And it's today is May in 2018, so it's been 3 months. My elbow's been fine. I don't know. It may come back again in the future. I don't know, but it was 3 months of struggling and with on and off elbow pain, and knowing that if I did pick up and play the guitar, it would start hurting sooner or later. And then after that one fateful morning, I was okay. So, if you want to know more gory personal detail about what that sort of a personal incident or issue that I sort of worked through that morning, that gets really long because I have to go back and tell you about my background and my childhood experiences and stuff like that. Anyway, that stuff I share with my patrons in my Patreon community. So if you're interested in that, the membership for that starts at $1 a month, and you can walk with me in my music career and give me feedback and collaborate with me and stuff like that. So I'll post it there. But so suffice it to say that again, cubital tunnel syndrome, and I think to a large extent carpal tunnel syndrome probably is very similar. It's a guitar playing injury. It happens because you're trying to do things that your body doesn't have strength to do. Taking supplements help. One other thing, taking a bath helps. Every time I take a bath, afterwards my elbow feel great for a while. And November to February is really cold in Minnesota, and I think that is definitely related to that. So keeping your body warm, taking a frequent bath helps, and that ultimately, if that doesn't really get you on your path to recovery, it might be worthwhile to do a self-reflection and read the books that I mentioned, and just sort of really explore what might be inside you that is holding you back from playing the guitar the way you want to and causing these injuries. Alright, so that's it for today. I hope you got something out of my sharing these experiences. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I can't diagnose you, but I will be happy to, share my experience, answer my question from my perspective. So, feel free to leave comments here and I'll respond as I can, or you can reach out to me through Twitter, Facebook, my contact form on my website, that sort of thing. Anyway, I hope it doesn't happen to you, but if it does, I hope you find this helpful. Alright? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Alone now, bleeding to a dawn high.